All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever left a party or even just a simple conversation and then spent the next, I don't know, hour, day, replaying every single thing you said, just wondering, was I too weird? Was I too quiet? Was I too much? It can honestly feel like everyone else got the instruction manual for friendship at birth, and we're just guessing. If you've ever felt that, this one's for you. For social smarts. You are so not alone in asking this. It is probably one of the most common questions neurodivergent people ask themselves. But here's the thing. What if the answer isn't that there's something wrong with you? What if it's because you're running a completely different operating system than the one the social world was built for? Exactly. That's what it feels like, because so much of the social world is built on these invisible, unspoken neurotypical rules. Things like exactly how long to hold eye contact, how to decode a really vague text message, or just the back and forth rhythm of small talk. And when your brain is just wired differently, you're constantly trying to decode these things on the fly, and wow, is it exhausting. So how in the world do we navigate all this? Let's think of it like a friendship maze. And to get through any maze, you first have to understand what it's made of. We need to get to the core problem that creates all these social hurdles in the first place. Okay, so this brings us to a concept that is a total game changer. It's called the double empathy problem. And it completely reframes this whole situation. It says that social difficulties aren't a one-way street, It's not just the autistic or ADHD person failing to get it. It's a mutual misunderstanding. It's a communication breakdown that happens in both directions when two people experience the world in fundamentally different ways. So here's the bottom line. It's a translation issue, not a personal deficit. Right, so if it's a translation issue, let's take a peek behind the curtain on our side of the equation. What are some of those internal experiences, those hidden rules that are constantly running in the background for so many neurodivergent folks? This is the stuff that almost no one talks about, but it dictates everything. First up, the social battery. For a lot of us, socializing isn't this light, breezy thing that charges you up. Nope. It's a full-on mental marathon, and it drains a very finite amount of energy. So if you've ever been having a great time, and then, boom, you hit a wall and you just have to go quiet or leave, that was your social battery hitting zero. And it's not you being rude. It's not you being bored. It's a genuine need to conserve energy to avoid a total system crash, also known as social burnout. Next up is something called rejection-sensitive dysphoria, or RSD. Now, this is an intense, almost physical, emotional pain that you feel in response to perceived rejection. And that word perceived is key. It can turn something small, like a friend taking a while to text you back, into this crushing, overwhelming certainty that they hate you. It's not just disappointment. It's this massive emotional wave that can make the simple act of reaching out to people feel incredibly risky and terrifying. And all of this leads to masking. This is the exhausting, often subconscious act of hiding your true natural self just to fit in and seem more neurotypical. It's forcing eye contact when it feels awful. It's laughing at a joke you don't get. It's suppressing the urge to info dump about your favorite thing. Masking is a survival strategy for sure, but it is so draining. And it can leave you feeling deeply, profoundly lonely, even when you're in a room full of people. Okay, so that's the why. That's the heavy stuff. Now let's get to the how. How do we actually deal with this? This section is your survival kit. It's filled with practical, actually doable tools to help you build friendships that work with your brain, not against it, for settlers, for strategists. First, let's get something really important straight. Scripting is not the same as masking. Masking is about hiding who you are to survive. Scripting, on the other hand, is a form of self-care. Think of it like a cognitive scaffold. It's a pre-planned phrase you can use to help you communicate when your brain is feeling scrambled or overwhelmed. It's not about being fake, it's about giving yourself a tool to make communication a little easier. So what does that actually look like? Well, here are a few simple scripts you can borrow. A simple exit line for when that social battery is flashing red, a phrase you can use to give yourself a moment to think, or even a little bit of self-disclosure that kind of gives your friends a mini manual for how you work. Again, these aren't about deception, they're about managing your energy and dialing down that social anxiety. All right, another essential tool, boundaries. I know, this one can feel huge, but here's a really safe and practical way to think about it. Step 1, just notice what you need. What's making you feel overwhelmed? Step 2, state that need simply and directly. And step 3, and this is the most important part, you do not have to over-explain or write a 5-paragraph essay justifying it. Your need for quiet or space or clarity, it's valid. Full stop. For settlers, for strategists. I'm just going to leave this here for a second, because it is so important to get this. Setting a boundary is not selfish.
It is a necessary act of self-respect. It's what allows you to actually have enough energy to show up in your relationships as your best, most authentic self. Okay, let's talk about another strategy that is, honestly, a lifesaver. It's called asynchronous communication. It's a fancy term for a simple idea, communicating in a way that doesn't demand an immediate response. We're talking texts, voice notes, emails. This is a game changer because it takes away all the pressure of a real-time performance. It gives you time to actually process what was said and craft a thoughtful reply. It honors your brain's processing speed and just lowers the anxiety of it all.
So we've talked about what's going on inside, and we've got some tools for the toolkit. But what's the most powerful strategy of all? It's finding your people, your neurotribe. It's about finding that community where you don't even need a survival kit because you're already home.
And this is what those friendships feel like. It's just a breath of fresh air. It's a place where info dumping about your special interest isn't weird, it's a love language. It's having an unspoken understanding where you don't have to constantly explain your quirks. And it's that beautiful reciprocal grace where if you don't text back for 3 days, nobody panics. It's not just about being tolerated, it's about being celebrated for exactly who you are.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. You are not too much. You are not broken. Friendship doesn't have to be this exhausting performance you put on to earn acceptance. With the right people and the right tools for yourself, it can be a sanctuary, a place where you can finally truly just be.
So I want to leave you with a question. If any of this made you feel seen, if it made you feel understood, who is one person in your life that needs to hear this too? Because sharing this isn't just about sending a link. It's about community. It's about letting someone else know that they are not alone in this maze.
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.